Hey, everybody. Hope and pray that you're doing well today. So, we come to our word from the Word. And today, that word is central. Central. Now, if I was to ask you, what is the theme, the central theme of the Bible? It could be summed up in one name: Jesus Christ. Everything in the Old Testament pointing to his coming, then the Gospels, he's here. And then after that, the rest of the New Testament on into the revelation given to John about what is still to come with Jesus. Now, having said that, it makes sense that Luke also, like Matthew, lists a genealogy or a lineage of Jesus. Now, it's interesting, though, that Matthew does his right at the beginning of his book, but at the beginning of his gospel. But here we have Luke. We're in the third chapter, and he's already told us a little bit about him, and then he begins. Well, it's interesting too. You'll notice if you go back and read Matthew chapter 1, look at that genealogy. You'll see some differences and different points of view. And I love the fact that you can look here. And I like one thing that Luke does. I like it a little bit better, I guess, if you want to say that. He starts with Jesus and works his way back. He doesn't just go to Abraham, he goes all the way back to Adam and then even really one step further. So let's look and see what it says today. Luke chapter 3, verses 21 and 23. And then I'm not going to read through all 78 names that are given there, but we'll look there at verse 38 as well. So, verse 21. When all the people were baptized, it came to pass that Jesus also was baptized. And while he prayed, the heaven was opened, and the Holy Spirit descended in bodily form like a dove upon him. And a voice came from heaven which said, You are my beloved Son, in you I am well pleased. Now Jesus himself began his ministry at about 30 years of age, being, as was supposed, the son of Joseph, the son of Heli, and then we skip on down to verse 38, the son of Enosh, the son of Seth, the son of Adam, the son of God. Now, the reason that he lists Adam as the son of God because he was created there by God. That's if you go to Genesis 1, we go to the beginning of the book and we understand that God created Adam. And so you get these different points of view even in this. And I love the fact that he does it, that Luke describes it right after you hear this voice from heaven that says, This is my son, and in whom I am well pleased. Right? You see the Holy Spirit of God descend in bodily form. You have God the Father in heaven, God the Holy Spirit coming down in bodily form, and then God the Son. We have the most clear picture of the Trinity right here in these verses. Now, I had pointed this out in previous videos. So here, Luke picks up from right there and he says, okay, well, let me tell you kind of how he's the Son. And it's just one of those things. So you have this title that he is, we know that he is from God. He says, This is my son in whom I am well pleased. That would be something that the audience there would have really been confused about, right? I mean, you think many of them would say, wait a minute, God doesn't have a son. And so that would have been confusing. But yet then he goes back and traces him all the way back to Abraham. So he is proving his lineage there as a Jew. Most importantly, for prophecy to be fulfilled, he was of the tribe of Judah. He was a descendant of King David. And remember all the prophecies that were made about him and about the king that would be the descendant of David that would rule and reign. And then you go back the other direction and you go all the way back to Adam. And so he is showing that he is akin to mankind. That yes, Jesus, while being fully God, was also fully man. And the way we get reminded of the two is in that in the New King James, it's what's in brackets, it's what's in parentheses, as he was supposed to be the son of Joseph, right? As many suppose that he was the son of Joseph. So you could, if Luke got a lot of his information from Mary, the mother of Jesus, then you have this lineage really would be more tied to her. But it's interesting that many would have supposed him to be that line. But if you follow both of them back, it's amazing that God put these two people. It shouldn't amaze us, but that God chose these two people to be the caretakers of Jesus while he was on earth. See, that's the central theme, right? And the only reason I point this out today is because so many times, and I'm like you, I'm tempted to, when we get to those lineages, to just kind of skip over them, to skim over them, and just say, okay, well, we'll get through that. Okay, we got to the end. Right now, some of it be because we can't pronounce some of the names or we have a difficult time with it. But I encourage you to go back and read between verses 23 and 38 and look at all the names. Look at all the generations. Think about all the families and just picking out one out of each generation to move on and to say, look at how long they had been waiting for the Messiah to come. And so Luke, to his audience, he's letting them know, hey, look, I want to show you not just that he was a Jew, but I want to show you that he was a man. See, all the other mythology and all these other polytheistic religions that they had out there, their little g gods, they had nothing. They were just poof, they were there. He is proving that Jesus became flesh by showing his lineage. So let us not skip over those things that are truly central to the theme of the Bible. A central theme of the Old Testament, how God would preserve. Look at how many times he wanted to destroy all of Israel. But there was always a remnant that was preserved. And the tribe of Judah, the lineage of David, was always preserved. Because that way, the prophecy and promises that God had given would come true. So let's not miss out on those things that are central to the work of God. No matter how menial they may seem, just it looks like a list of names. Well, here's the thing. You have a name and I have a name. And we're both important to the Master. God bless you. And I pray you have a great, great day.